our hierarchy of loyalties. So we have different things to be loyal to as human beings. Well, what's at the top? What comes first? And then what comes after that? That's the question that he answered in his statement. He gave us a hierarchy of loyalties. And he said humanity first, and then other human characteristics come second. So you could do it that way. Or you could say certain human characteristics first, and then humanity second. So humanity is subordinated to human characteristics. Well, you've got to take a point of view. You've got to take a position. You've got to take a stand. What is going to be your hierarchy of loyalties? What's going to come first? And what's going to come second? Is humanity going to come first? Or are human characteristics going to come first? So Junior, maybe talk a little bit about this slide and how it represents and what it represents.
I want to take a second and just acknowledge the profundity of that quote. We go pretty quickly through this piece of the webinar, but that could deserve an entire hour just talking about that quote. If you think about the context in which he was speaking, it is truly an amazing quote. So
let me say it again. Yeah, let me say it again, Junior. He said, I know of no rights of race is a human characteristic, that are superior to the rights of humanity.
Yeah, I love that. So here you've got some of the human characteristics that we talk about, okay, that he may have been referring to. And we've tried to spell these out a little bit. We've got age, ancestry, association, generation, living status, physical appearance, religious affiliation, social status, wealth is very, very, very interesting. And the tendency of many of us is to go right to these, right? That's the first thing we think about instead of looking right at the person and acknowledging our common humanity. So do you see these? Are we crazy, or do we see these types of human characteristics being used for prejudgment all the time? Go ahead and put it in the chat if you see these. Wow, this brings it home. Liza, yes, absolutely. All the time. Carol, yes, absolutely. All of them. Mm-hmm. Very, very interesting. This happens all the time. So this, to me, as we were preparing for the webinar, was really this interesting fork in the road. And it's really the highest piece of upstream logic that I could imagine is this first fork in the road. It's the very first thing that we're met with when we meet another person, when we're interacting with another person, is which road do we go down? Is it humanity or is it human characteristics? And which comes first?
Which comes first? You've got to have a premise. Now let's turn that around, right, Junior?
Yep.
Okay, so here we go.
Here's the next one, okay? This is flipped, where we're going human characteristics first, humanity second. Okay. And that's the opportunity. Think of the last 5 times you interacted with someone. Okay. That was probably within the last 24 hours. And how did you look at that person? Did you look first at human characteristics and then decide how you were going to treat them? Or did you look first at the fact that they are human? And that's something that we all share. I know that we've been on both sides of this all of us forever. We've sometimes made the incorrect choice, I'm sure. And there are many times where we make the correct choice and it makes a massive difference. And you have to realize that the context of this piece of the discussion is inside the topic of how to create inclusion. And this is really the crux of the issue. How do you create inclusion? You first treat people as humans and not human characteristics. That is really the crux of the issue. And the gold nugget for today, it's the takeaway. If you take nothing else away from this webinar, take away that fact that you have an opportunity to go first to humanity or human characteristics when you're dealing with another person. Yep. And if you go to human characteristics off the bat, we've already lost. It's game over. We need to go to humanity to promote inclusion.
Yeah, we really do.